Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
1 second. Let me get your audios. Oh, that's why. I have so much crap going on here. I think this goes. I might not be able to use the headphones. There it is. Found it. Okay.
It
Talk.
works?
Yeah. Okay. It wasn't plugged in. Uh,
That it's better if you plug it in.
right? Sometimes there's so much crap going on here. We've got like monitors and all this stuff, and I'm not a tech person, so I'll look at you this way. That's where the camera is.
So how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Is my audio good? Is the volume level
Yeah,
okay?
everything's good.
Okay,
I hear
cool.
you well. No
Awesome.
problem.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Nice.
Um, I discovered you a couple of weeks ago because I was doing a research for my interview with Taylor Mumsen, and
Oh,
I was on YouTube checking out her videos and stuff, and you popped up. I say, "Oh, what's that band?" And I said, Jesus Christ, they're kicking some serious asses.
oh, thank you. I love Taylor Momsen. She's actually, it's weird because all of the females in rock are we all know each other. And she's like one of the only girls I haven't met yet. And I'm like, when is that going to happen? Are we going to be friends or what?
Yeah, she's cool. So I discovered you and I said, I have to talk to that girl because she's a major rocker and your music's amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It means a lot.
So Stitch Up Hard started in 2010. That's about 11 years ago. Your first album was in 2016. How come it was so long for the start of the band and the first album?
We actually had a couple EPs that we did ourselves, but they were horrible. And so we decided to just once we got signed after being a band for 5 years, we had two EPs. We decided, you know what, scrap all the old stuff. As soon as we got signed, we were like, let's start fresh. Let's just the past is a past. Let's start from here and move on. So there's songs that are still a little bit on the DL. There's still a couple CDs left from those, but like we're talking like stopping by the Office Depot and cutting out little squares for the front of the CD and the CD cases and like stuff like that on tour. So it was like DIY. So I don't know. It was just Never Alone was just our new this is what's happening kind of thing.
Okay. And since the first album in 2016, you released last year the second album, Darkness. And what's funny about that date, it's Friday the 13th that you released that date. And in Montreal, on that date, everything shut down
Great
completely.
timing. Amazing
That's
timing.
what I wanted to say. What a great timing.
I believe 100% in timing. I hope that album Darkness in general, everything went dark, right? So I hope that there's some lyrics and something that was able to help people heal through it. Um, Luckily, the label had a great idea as releasing the album pretty much like a single every month leading up to that date. So almost the whole thing had been out. We just weren't able to tour off it properly like you tour for a year or two off an album and then you get writing. We're writing the next record right now. We're just like, well, I guess we write another album. I don't know.
Yeah, but when you release that on that date, you probably what passed through your mind with the band? You probably say you call your buddies and
Right.
say, "Oh my god!"
I'm pretty. I think our whole band is pretty good at handling things as they come. Rolling with the punches. But like, I was getting in shape. I was like ready for. I was getting ready for the tour. I was actually at the gym, and I had a feeling about it. And I was like heading home from the gym when they texted me saying, "Hey, the tour is getting postponed." And I was like, "Hey, happy album release day. Tour's postponed." And I called up and ordered a pizza immediately. I need a pizza in my life. And I also foster bottle baby kittens, you know, the ones with that you feed milk, they don't have a
Yeah,
mom.
yeah, yeah.
So I called up the rescue and I was like, I'm available. Give me kittens, cupcakes, and pizza, and World of Warcraft, and I'm good for the next 2 months.
um, yeah, because the tour you were supposed to tour with Sebastian Bach, that
Yeah.
was last year too, eh?
Yeah, so it was literally almost a year ago to this date. It was about the same time, deja vu. And it got pushed to the fall, and then it got pushed. It was going to Canada, and then it got pushed to this coming May, and then it just got canceled completely because it was like, I mean, how long do you guys string people along? It stinks because I really wanted to see some of those. He was going to do Skid Row's first album in its entirety. And I mean, you've got so many great songs on that record. And to see those performed live would have been really cool. So I'm kind of bummed, but you know, there's nothing we can do about it. We just gotta, like I said, roll with the punches and just move forward.
Yeah. Yeah, Sebastian Bach, I saw him, maybe you're too young for that tour. I don't know. He played in Montreal in what, 91, and Pantera was opening for him.
That's a good show.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
amazing. That's a strange mix, but it
Yeah.
was amazing.
A lot of them, like, how did that part of the planet not just implode, like, with so much awesomeness? Like, yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's a long time ago. Oh my God, I'm old. Anyhow, so your album is called Darkness. Uh, you said you wanted to write an album about strength, and a lot of things happened in your life, and so you decided to write about darkness. Um, was
Yeah,
that
you
a
know,
good, not a good idea, but do you think rock and metal music, you can write better music in a dark place?
for this particular album, it was very much, yeah, it immediately. And I appreciate that you kind of know like what I went through there. So I know you did a lot of research, and I appreciate that. So with the first initial thing, it's just like when you go into the studio, the first thing you do is like you have an idea of what you're going to do, and it changes almost completely like every time. I've been like, all right, we're going to write like the strong song, you will prevail, everybody, we're going to kick some ass. And life happens, and you really start. I really wanted to pull out of what was really going on, and there was a lot of internal struggles at the time with me, and there's a lot of like um I just didn't know if I was cut out to do what I do. And it was really scary. It was almost like a fork in the road, if like I might not have been able to physically do it anymore. And so it was really scary for me. So I figured, there's probably people that can relate to some of the stuff that I'm going through, and let me just be authentic and real. And I can pretend I'm strong as much as I want, but sometimes I'm just scared. And so I just let the real vulnerability out, and that's just how it kind of unraveled. It didn't mean to do it that way. It's just what was happening at the time. This record, I mean, the one that we're working on now, I bet you can imagine there's a lot of more, not so much introspective lyrics, but what's going on with the world. And without, I'm not like a big political person. I don't really voice my opinion politically, but with the kind of internal struggles that we're all going through, with the anxiety needing to get out and being felt like you're isolated, and all those feelings that we're all having, is really, I write from what's happening in my experience. And so that's kind of where that direction is going. It's a little different for sure.
Did you start your songs for the new, because you're writing for a new album? Um, there's not going to be any more pandemic. Hopefully, when you're going to release, yeah, choose your date wisely.
I mean, we probably don't plan to release anything this year. Just in talking with people back and forth, there are going to be shows, but it's going to be weird. It's going to be like people are still kind of dipping their toe in the water. It's going to be like 50, half capacity venues. And unless you're New Zealand, then I'm moving there. Like, um, but I think there's a lot of like tread lightly until we get into the groove and everybody's like feeling safe again. But I don't, we're probably just going to take the year to write for the most part. And we have some festivals that have been pushed and pushed. that are hopefully going to happen. But otherwise, yeah, I hopefully 2022 will be a year where we're all just free of this whole thing. I hope.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think is going to change? Not humanly or not musically, but when shows are going to come back, how do you think people will be changed in the venue and during the concert? You know, the first concert, people are gonna go what, fucking nuts?
I mean, I hope so. I don't know. Can you imagine what your first show will be like? What will you feel like? Will you be
Yeah,
like,
my last show was in March, like a week before pandemic. It was Blackberry Smoke, and like 2 days after, I was supposed to go to Toronto to see Blackberry Smoke again. Everything shut down. So it's like a year. It's like forever.
yeah.
So I can imagine you guys. You're playing music. It's your life. You know me. I'm just going to this and there. But so I can imagine what it's going to be like when you're going to come back.
I'm definitely gonna give everything I got. That's for sure. I mean, we even just like I felt like a little bit lucky that we even have like when we have band practice or something, and we had to do a live stream. So that even that practice together and just getting the band back together and having that energy and like being like, hey, it's my family, and we're all together again. And that's very rare in this too. So it's it's a euphoric feeling of this togetherness. I think that everybody's gonna just really, really appreciate it more. And um, I'm probably gonna take a lot more moments to just look out at everything and try to like soak it all up.
Yeah, and yeah, you just said that you did a live stream. How do you like live streams? That's what I hope. That's what I hope you would say.
Oh man, there's nothing like a real show. So like you can't, it was something just to do to get it kind of like we got to do this. We got to do something. We can't just sit on our hands this whole time. And it was cool because we had a really awesome light show, but the audio quality is never perfect with live streams. It's just not. And unless it's pre-recorded or something, but you can't make it perfect. Like it's
Yeah,
impossible. So for me anyway.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it's not the same, but it was something, at least something.
yeah. Because when you're doing a show, you're getting something from the people, and like you're now in the live stream, you're getting sweet nothing.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like it was almost like we were shooting a music video, but we knew people were watching. But then there was like one point where we like to get the crowd like clapping and hands waving and stuff. And usually I'm like screaming at it, like the crowd, like yeah, and like in this one point I remember going like woo, like I don't know what to do here. Nobody here.
um, do you think it's more? I asked this question to Taylor like 2 weeks ago. I'm going to ask it to you. You have a lot of attention in your band, and how is it for the other people in the band not to get the attention you have?
You should ask our drummer that because he wants all the attention, like, but he's our alcoholic drummer, as you have in the band. Like you have to have one, right? So that's why he has the loudest instrument. So, actually they all get that there has to be a chef. Like there has to be a lead cook in the kitchen. You can't have everybody kind of um you know they could throw all the ideas in the pot, but in the end of the day it needs to come down to one person kind of making those decisions. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it's like to be them. To be honest, I would prefer to just be the bass player and not be the singer and just jam out and bang my head and have a good time and not have to go to the merch table and like try to sell stuff and like stuff like that. But I don't know. I think that our guys love communicating with people, so they go out even more so. And it's I don't know what it's like to be them, so I don't know. I think they're pretty cool about
She
it.
said that too, eh? She said they're lucky. because I have to do all the promos, I have to do all the radio shows, and they can go out after the concert. I have to go home.
We gotta keep our mouths shut so we don't talk too
Exactly.
much. We're not allowed to like do all. Yeah, there's like there's a lot more pressure on being the lead person in the band. Which I didn't think about that in 2010 when I put the band together. I was just like, yeah, this is my vision. And also I'm the only original member because the first lineup like quit after 3 months or something. Our first tour, everybody just up and quit, and I was like, well, that's it. And then the drummer came up to me and he's like, "Hey, no, let's put this together. Like I see what you're trying to do here. Let's try it." And so we're still here. But yeah, I would love for them to handle some of the stuff, some of the weight that I have on my plate.
Yeah. Do you think it's harder on women fronting a band than for a man? Because you have to prove to people that you can do it.
I think there's a double-edged sword there. I think that there's one thing where I believe for me, when I see a band, if I see a girl in it, I get really excited. But that's just me. But some people, especially in heavier music, prefer a male vocal, and that's just the way it is. And so that's why I think there's a little difference in the amount of women versus the amount of men. But I do think there's an advantage to getting some sort of a it's not the same rinse repeat kind of thing. It's like, okay, well, this is a girl doing this that a man does usually, and you're going to get judged in whether you're a guy or a girl. But you know, again, I don't know what it's like to be a dude, so um, but I definitely think there's pros and cons in both scenarios, and you just gotta kind of gotta work with what you got.
Yeah. How did you got into music when you were a kid? How did you say, when do you remember the time you said, "Hey, I can do that"?
So apparently, I don't remember this, but I was 3 years old. My mom told me recently I was sitting on the toilet. Uh, this is a detail I just learned about also. I gotta put that in there. I was on the toilet at 3, and she said, she said something about what are you gonna do when you grow up? And I was like, I'm gonna be a rock star. And I don't know what was going on in my head. But yeah, 3 years old. But I didn't know until about probably right out of high school that I wanted to actually do something with this. This is like a passion. So I had to, up and leave to Los Angeles and do all that other stuff. But yeah, I think it was after high school.
Uh, when you were on the toilet.
On the toilet, that's when I made the decision to do this for the rest of my life.
So since everything shut down and no concert this year, what are you up to for the next months to come? Working on your record, working on lyrics, working on the.
Yeah, yeah. We've been writing a lot. So far, everybody likes the music we're making. So like the last record, we wrote 70 songs for Darkness. This one, we've written like 10, I think, and pretty much all of them are like, cool. I like it. I like it. Keep going. We've got time. Like we don't need to release this year. So we're a little ahead of the game on when we're supposed to actually start even working on this. So yeah, and then I am waiting for a call from the rescue once again to get some bottle baby kittens. I also volunteer at this horse rescue. It's like a racehorse retirement community for horses that were maybe otherwise going to slaughter, or they were found abandoned, or etc. And so I just spend an hour or two there and put some hay and some feeders stuff. I don't know. It's weird, but it's not what anybody would think I would usually do. And it's kind of been my pandemic savior. And I'm getting a puppy. But yeah, just writing some music awkwardly on Zoom, which is the weirdest way to write an album, but
Yeah.
coming out okay.
You're really close to your fans, eh? Um, I saw an interview. You're giving away your email if there's some problems, this and that. Um, is it important for you to stay close to your fans?
Oh yeah, I think that with the way that like in a day where back in the day where bands were so different. Like it was like you never ever got to hang out with Gene Simmons and play a video game. Like that's not kind of how that used to go, you know? And it's still that case in that generation, but I feel like these days the more you are connected with the people that appreciate the art that you create. Like, I mean, anybody that listens to my music, I'm just mind blown that they even care, you know? And like for me, I'm just so grateful to even have one fan, let alone any more than that. Like one person that believes in what we do. And you know, you're not going to win them all, but yeah, I think you know, we've been keeping up with streaming and hanging out and chatting on Twitch and stuff like that. And as you can see, I got the whole like gaming setup, but uh yeah, I think it's very important, you know, like if I was in high school and one of my favorite bands was like, let's play Among Us, I'm like, yes, like, you know. So I definitely think that making somebody's day is so important. And if it's the least I can do is just to hang out, and it I don't have any friends anyway, so we might as well hang out, right?
Yeah, and a lot of people, you know, they don't rely on you, but they look up to you, and you know, they can relate a bit to you and stuff like that. So being a fan myself of a lot of people, it's always disappointing when you meet somebody that you love so much and he's such an ass.
Yeah.
And you're there. Okay, that was it.
Right. Luckily, I haven't had to experience that. So, and everybody I've met that's like I admire and am inspired by has always been super cool. So I haven't, knock on wood, had to experience that. But yeah, like, and there's been times like we, you know, as a band, there's been times we would wait. We always would go to the merch table after shows for the longest time. I remember we were standing there at the merch table in the sun for 2 hours, just meet and greeting everybody. There was nobody had to pay anything, just to say hi. And one guy walks by and he's like, I don't like you guys anymore. As we're here for an hour and a half still talking to everybody, is giving everybody everything we have. And he's like, you didn't like and comment on my Facebook post. And I used to like you, but since you didn't like my comments, nope, I just don't like you anymore. Okay, cool, dude.
He probably likes you as he probably still likes you anyways.
But it was that one guy. I'm like, can I just talk to him? Like, what's the deal? Like, what did I do? What did
Exactly. Well, thanks a lot. Mixi, or you like being called Mixi or Alecia?
Yeah, I go by Mixi. It's my alter ego.
Good. So thanks a lot. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope I made discover your great band, and let's hope that you're gonna come back to Canada and in Montreal so we can
Yes,
yeah, we can rock out the city,
in
because
real
we've
life.
missed it for so much.
Oh yeah, man. I thank you so much for taking the time with me. I really appreciate it. And yeah, just keep on the lookout for some new tunes.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mixi, and have a good day. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.